Hello, it's Tristan here from ZebraInvest, and today I'm doing a video all about how to spot empty, vacant and unwanted homes. So we're going to be walking through the telltale signs of what shows you and is a good indicator of what is an empty property by actually going out on the streets, walking around and being able to spot them yourselves. Within this video I'm going to be running through how putting empty homes and abandoned properties back into use can really benefit communities, benefit you as a property investor, and how we can get them all working and around. And I'm just walking up and down the street here and only just stepping straight past one, and you can see there's an empty property right here. So I'm going to be jumping in, walking around Norwich and showing you exactly how you can do this too. Across the UK there's over 260,000 homes sitting empty at the moment. With the government trying to build 300,000 new homes a year, that's not far off technically being able to fix 1 year worth of housing demand. Across Norwich, there's 206 properties reported to be empty, and that's only for one or two of the councils to actually say how many properties are sitting empty. Norfolk, South Norfolk and Broadlands Council don't actually tell you that data, but you can head online, you can search and find that information for yourself. So one of the best and the simplest ways to be able to work out whether a property has been sitting empty is actually its front garden. A lot of the time people, if they haven't been looking after properties, or they're not in the area or they're not looking after them, you will see that the gardens have got overgrown, the properties are just looking unkept and unwell. And when we come down the street, actually most of them are in pretty good condition. But for example, this one here, which is a little bit overgrown, but then you can see the rest of the house is actually looking quite well looked after. The other thing that's always a good sign is bins. So you can see whether bins have been moved, whether they've been put away, if there's weeds and there's stuff that's grown all in front of them. Because actually if bins haven't been moving or there hasn't got steps or anything around them, well, the chances are that property has been sitting empty for some time. Then one of the bits I've done a few times is actually if you go around and go walk the streets and have a look for properties, but you actually do it in the evening, well, one of the main things is most people are usually at home probably at least between 8 and 10 o'clock in the evening. And usually it's better for this for winter, but you can see if lights have been turned on and they are on, then you can tell that someone is living there. And also as if the curtains are being closed, because in the evening you're going to have the curtains closed to stop people looking into the property. But if the curtains are all open and it's the middle of the night and none of the lights have been turned on, well, chances are that property is sitting empty. Again, the flip side happens is if you walk past a property in the daytime, and I know a lot of people do keep their curtains closed, but if all the curtains are closed in the daytime and they're always closed at night and there's no lights, you can see a light bleed just around the side of it, then the chances are, again, someone isn't actually at that property. Another interesting one can be looking at the front door of a property. And what I mean is when you look at the front door of the property, you can sometimes see there's been leaflets, there's newsletters, there's bits that have been going in there that simply haven't gone through or someone hasn't even thought to pick up. You can also sometimes see if you get a little bit close to them, sometimes you might end up with cobwebs. And if cobwebs have gone up and all over a door, well, the chances are that means that someone can't get in. And the other bit that's quite good as well is if you look and you can see pathways are broken or covered up by weeds or other bits to be able to get into the property. Again, it's kind of showing that people aren't going in and out of that house. And here's an absolute prime example of an empty property. She's a huge building, and you can see just the amount of growth, and this is actually coming off a public highway that's gone all the way up the side of the building. When you come round to the front of it, you can see just how bad this property has got for a lack of care and attention to it. See across the whole of the front of the property, that's all foliage that's all growing up at it. And when you look in the window there, you can actually see there's a notice saying that the locks have been changed on the property. So with these kind of properties, they really need some love and just to be put back into use. And actually, this property that I'm walking past now, Ivory House, I've actually got a purchase agreed on it. It's been a little bit of a contentious one, where we've also got to buy the freehold, but unfortunately it's been repossessed. But she will be, and once I've got all the videos to be able to show you, a fantastic project to do. And there are tax benefits for doing these kind of projects up and doing these kind of refurbs, but that'll be explained later on in my series all about empty properties. Occasionally you can just look at the outside of a property and you can see from the outside of the property that it isn't particularly well being looked after. That with that property, say for example, roof tiles have slipped, or you've got old cars that have been left outside the front of the property, or you can look at them and you can see perhaps rendering or paint's peeling off a building, and where it just isn't being looked after, you can just see that property, well, is likely to be empty. occasionally you'll have notices that have been put up on a front of a door, and that could be unfortunately a repossession notice or a document or something saying what's going on within that property. If you see one of those, well, clearly the property is going to be sitting empty, and there might be someone there to be able to approach to see whether you can help put that property back into use. Whenever you are looking for properties like this, just remember they could still be someone's home. Someone could still be living there. It might be a property that's unkept, unlooked after, or somewhere that really needs a bit of TLC. But there are people who unfortunately, might not have the ability to be able to look after their property, and that's why they're in the condition. What I've done is I'm doing a whole series all about empty properties now, how you can help put them back into use, how you can reach out, how you can contact, and how you can possibly work with people to put these properties back into use. So if you follow along for the rest of the videos, they'll be coming out each and every other week. And then what we're also going to do is I'm creating a little set of files that you can be able to purchase. And if you want to jump in and learn how you can find these properties and easier ways to find these properties, how you can follow up with them and start buying empty properties, then please follow on, watch this video. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully you'll like it. Subscribe to the channel. If you've got any comments or questions, please drop them below. Cheers.